Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Have you read your own bill? Have you read your own bill? Because it is trying to regulate speech.
Clay Higgins really is the poster child for the sorts of people who talk about reverse racism.
You consistently said over and over the word oppression, and every time that you said it, it was almost as if I was hearing nails on a chalkboard, because it seems like you don't understand the definition of oppression, and I'd ask you to just refer to Google to help you out. Oppression is the prolonged, cruel, or unjust treatment or control. That is the definition of oppression. And so as I sit here as a black woman who practiced civil rights, let me tell you the reason that my colleagues wanted to make sure you understood the same black history that your side of the aisle wants to delete out of classrooms is because you can then misuse words like oppression. There has been no oppression for the white man in this country. You tell me which white men were dragged out of their homes. You tell me which one of them got dragged all the way across an ocean and told that you are going to go and work. We are going to steal your wives. We are going to rape your wives. That didn't happen. That is oppression. We didn't ask to be here. We're not the same migrants that y'all constantly come up against. We didn't run away from home. We were stolen. So yeah, we are going to sit here and be offended when you want to sit here and act like, and don't let it escape you that it is white men on this side of the aisle telling us, people of color on this side of the aisle, that y'all are the ones being oppressed, that y'all are the ones that are being harmed. That's not the definition of oppression. You tell me the prolonged, cruel, or unjust treatment that you've had, and we can have a conversation.
You can start with Exodus.
The final thing that I will say, three years ago, white men represent 30% of the population, but 62% of office holders. These are the issues that we are constantly looking at and recognizing and trying to say, is this just?
All right. Hey, shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rekaha, Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone on whom I learn from each and every day. Healthy shalom to the brothers out there doing the work in truth and sincerity. Also, to the 144,000 mighty men would be judges on the earth, as the scriptures say. Okay? On the earth. Oh, and it's coming, too. It's coming. You Edomites, you Shedemites, children, all of you. You going into slavery, man. You know, matter of fact, got a quick story. I just marked one today. Crack infested demon stole some damn money out of my car, and I'm a good 99% sure it was her. Okay, so I want to say shalak first. I'm gonna put some curses up on her. Shalak right to her, you know, and have her whole household get destroyed, and that's that. All right, it's the brother Gabar Adama coming back at you. You know, hey, and you know what? Honestly, that story is sort of fitting because surely oppression maketh the wise man mad. This is a book of Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 1 that reads, a good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth. You see, well, you know, that only makes sense because you going, as the scripture said, you going straight back to the one who created you. So then you'll know things, and then you'll be at peace from the perils of this earth. Continuing on, verse 2, and it reads, it is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men. You see? You know, you can see that with, you know, the scriptures, it goes into it. They have more than heart could wish. They're not in trouble as other men. You know, they don't get in trouble. They do the same crime or even worse. Or even get upset about being called out for being rapists and committing a genocide against people simply because they got caught, not because they did it. It's a little strange. If you haven't seen the lesson yet, go to the Elder Joshua, not Joshua, but Elder Malcolm's channel. I believe it was critical race theory. I think so. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. And he's got 2 or 3 different channels, but go down and watch that. You'll see they were upset, and they clearly said that they were upset about getting caught. And you see this is the MO of Esau. He does this all the time. They're more upset about getting caught than what the hell they just did. Okay? So to each and every one of you, man, you going into slavery. Anyhow, it is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living, Salakia, sometimes it's spelled weird, all right, will lay it to heart, which is your mind. Sorrow is better than laughter. You see, sorrow is better than laughter. Now, we should all understand by now that this place is Babylon. Literally, America means bitter. Okay, and it's very bitter. The vexation of the conversation that you got to have with these damn people every day. You know, your own family members don't understand nothing. Nobody gets it. You know, and there's always the accuser of the brethren. Okay, it never ends. It never ends. But the scriptures tell us very plainly that thou shalt only be oppressed and spoiled. Okay, and that's what we are, man. We just have to endure it, and that's that. Anyway, sorrow is better than laughter, for the sadness of the countenance of the heart is made better. See, it's made better once you understand, the oppression. Now, that clip, I'm just going to go ahead and show you that first clip because it was Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, which she be going off, because the scripture clearly said, Salakia, all right, that a woman shall not usurp authority over the man. And she's clearly in a high position here in Babylon, but that's just the way it goes. Even after all the dog whistles and the low IQs and the statements from the presidents and whatever, it's talking about ghetto this and ghetto that. We all know they dog whistles. We know what they mean. Okay? We know what they mean by that. Just further degrading the so-called black woman, and nobody's black. You hear I keep saying that shit. It's rather annoying, man. It's a really derogatory term. Hell, it's worse than nigger, all right, or nigger, all right. I said it. I don't really give a shit, all right. Of the countenance of the heart is made better. Okay, verse 4: the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. You see that? The rebuke of the wise. Hey, I'm a prime example of that. I've heard the rebuke of the wise plenty times, and it's all warranted. Our righteousness is as filthy rags, man. We can't act like we out here. The scripture said we are God's ark. We're below right now. Okay. Keep thy foot and there's several scriptures. My mind is jumbled up right now. I'm a little pissed off about it, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles, right? There's several scriptures that go into that. Humble yourself in the sight of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, all kinds of different scriptures. Okay, and you got a lot of people out there that they won't humble themselves. They won't, they like, I don't know, don't take anything serious. And like the scripture, just like I was just reading in verse 4, verse 5, verse 3, sorrow is better than laughter. So when you see people all happy and shit and running around talking about we good, no, you're not good. Nobody's saved yet. See? The song of fools is being sung all over this damn place. All over the world, all over the 4 corners of the earth. Okay? Verse 6, and it reads, for as the crackling of thorns under a pot, so is the laughter of the fool that is also in vanity. Whoo! That's heavy. That's heavy. Verse 7 reads, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. You see that? Hey, look, one of those gifts is what? SNAP benefits, EBT, Section 8 housing, even being told that you're free. When the book of Baruch 3 and verse 8 very plainly and clearly tells us we are yet to stay in our captivity. As a matter of fact, let's go to it. I'm quoting too many scriptures and not just bringing them out. Okay? Salakia, here we go. He that... Okay, so since I, went into oppression, because you saw that, and I sort of like Jasmine Crockett, to be honest with you, because she be telling the truth, but she just don't understand the scriptures. She's not gonna get it. She's too wrapped up in this world and the things that are in this world. Being a congresswoman and thinking that at some point in time we all just gonna get along and everything's gonna be fine and we need to march and nah, screw all that shit. We gotta wait on Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man, the only begotten Son. Proverbs 14 and verse 31. He that oppress the poor reproaches his maker, but he that honoreth him have mercy on the poor. Hold on. That's not what I wanted. Nope. Okay. Yeah, again, that's not exactly. There we go. This is what I wanted right here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Woo! What does that say? Exodus. You heard what that redneck Edomite said, that old red devil. You heard what he said? Show me where she said, white man, we know them by Esau, Edom, right? And don't get it twisted, not all of them. There's so many so-called black Edomites out there, it's unbelievable. You wouldn't even believe it. You're not spiritual if you just go by, oh, look, it's an Edomite. All right? You're not being spiritual at all. Okay? It's a bunch of them. Matter of fact, I'll leave it right there. I'll leave it there. I got sneaky suspicions within my own family. I'm just saying, on my mom's side, but whatever. Which don't even matter. To further the point. Anyway, he heard what he said, Exodus. He said, start at Exodus. So is he saying, what is he saying? That the so-called white men were oppressed in Egypt? He said, start in Exodus. You heard what he said. You heard that. He said, start with Exodus. Oh, my goodness. That just rolled off his tongue real easy, didn't it? You see, Esau Edom, he's a damn victim villain. He's a victim villain. I'm the victim of this. I'm the victim of that. But at the same time, doing all these things that the scriptures talks about what the Edomites would be doing. Job 9 and verse 24. Exodus 21 verse 16 reads, and he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. Did you hear that? Didn't the scripture say when Yahweh our big brother, the chief cornerstone, comes back, that the children of Israel, his precious silver and gold, is going to be in the hands of these damn devils? Didn't it? Ain't that a part of the prophecy? And he got the nerve to talk about Exodus? Yeah. You heard that right. Oh, man. Surely oppression maketh the wise man mad. Let's go here. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 29. Part of the curses. I read this a lot. And thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness. If you blind, and everything's darkness. Even at noonday, if you blind as a bat, you can't see shit. Okay? So they groping for things because they don't know where the hell they are. They don't know what's in front of them. That's why they had that walking stick. They have that stick to fill out where they are. And this is talking about Israel. This is talking about the people of Israel, the northern and southern kingdom. Go back and read 1 through 15. Okay? And thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed. There's that word again, and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. Matter of fact, let's do this. Let's go here. Let's type this in. Watch out, dog. Salakia. All right, let's go to the blue letter. Let's go to the Blue Letter Bible. Letter Bible. Okay, the Blue Letter Bible. Here we go. And we'll go to Deuteronomy 28, verse 29. We'll go there. All right, we'll get what this word means. Okay, what does oppression mean? Thou shalt only and not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt only be oppressed. It's H62:31, and it reads. Ashak. All right. Show outline to press upon, oppress, violate, defraud, do violence. All right. Get deceitfully wrong, exhort. You see that? To oppress, wrong, extort, Slakia. To oppress. That's what it means. All right. All the wrong things that they do. Okay? And they continually do them. Now, this devil right here, Clay Higgins, he had the nerve to say, start at talk about Exodus. Well, that wasn't talking about you, Esau Edom. That wasn't talking about some redneck from Louisiana. It wasn't talking about from some redneck Edomite from the NO. No. He's talking about the children of Israel. So let's go to Exodus. Exodus 1 and verse 1, and it reads, now these are the names of the children of Israel. Okay? Now how in the world could Yahushua, how in the world could Moses, how in the world could these Israelites hide themselves in the midst of Egypt amongst a bunch of Hamites that are darker than sin? How does that work? So those 70 souls that came into Egypt that became a great multitude, damn sure it wasn't Clay Higgins. You see how they lie? And it's easy for them to lie about things when you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Now, these are the names of the children of Israel, which came into Egypt. Every man and his household came with Jacob. Ooh, what does this say? Verse 2, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan and Naphtali, Gad and Asher, and all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob. Were 70 souls. There it is right there. For Joseph was in Egypt already. Who was? Joseph. And Joseph died and his brethren and all that generation. So I don't know what the hell this Mr. Clay Higgins is talking about. Republicans slapped after telling SNAP recipients to stop smoking crack. Ain't that something? It's right here in front of your face. You see it, don't you? Huh? You talk about a damn dog whistle. As a matter of here, let me play this. Check this out.
They have Jasmine Crockett, a low IQ person. They have AOC's low IQ. You give her an IQ test. Have her pass like the exams that I decided to take when I was at Walter Reed. Those are very hard, they're really aptitude tests, I guess, in a certain way, but they're cognitive tests. Let AOC go against Trump. Let Jasmine go against Trump.
What is his IQ? Because he is constantly talking about, he doesn't even know what a low IQ is. He don't even know which scores are low. And I can guarantee you that whatever score, if he's taken one anytime recently, I'm sure that his qualifies as low. Listen, he's never been known to be an Einstein. This is not a guy who got in on merit when it came to going to college. This is someone who...
You see that? And another one, right? In the words of Biggie Smalls. And another one, you saw what he said. Very easily and plainly said, oh, she's low IQ. You know that's a dog whistle. Everybody should know that by now. Anybody that's been online or on any of these social platforms from any amount of time would know the first thing Esau Edom would do is call your ass low IQ. Then they'll say, no, Jeebus, he's a white man. Hell, it was set on national fucking television. All right? And Santa Claus is too. You can't make this shit up. I'm just saying. Psalm 73, verse 3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. See that? What's up, Sarah? Okay. At the prosperity of the wicked. It's easy. Verse 4. Salakia, give me one moment. Is that all? Hey, is that all you getting? Okay. What are we eating? All right, just whatever. All right, verse 4. For there are no bands, Salakia for that. There are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore, pride compasseth them about as a chain. Violence cover them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt. And speaking wickedly concerning oppression, they speak loftily. So you heard what that demon said. What that devil said. Try Exodus. What the hell are you talking about? What do you mean Exodus? That wasn't talking about you. That's talking about the Israelites. Okay? Anyhow, hey, that's enough. I'll leave it right there. Giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba, Shalom Yahweh Shai. Much love to each and every one of you brothers and sisters. Shalom.